today I am back with Laura and Eric, but tonight we are not doing a news update. I know Eric is our news guru, and so is Laura, but we promised you an update on the story we brought you earlier, where Laura was hired by someone through LinkedIn, and we've shared the story, which is turning out to be quite bothersome and disastrous. However, tonight Laura will tell you what has happened since the last segment where we shared the original story. If you haven't seen it, please go look for it. And the title says, Beware, is this a scam or was money laundered? And that's how you will find it on my website. Laura, I think, reached out to at least 7 different law enforcement agencies since this happened, and for the longest time did not hear from anyone until today, I think. She will fill you in with the details. But before I bring her and Eric on, I wanted to say this. There's something about our world that scammers and those who break the law are emboldened. And when they commit their crimes and you stand up to them, they turn around and try to bully you, which is exactly what happened with Laura. I'll give you the outline. She will furnish you with the details. And Eric is here because Eric has taken down more crooks than some of the police I know. Therefore, he is here to fill in with the legal aspects of all of this best he can. And so, a day ago, Laura got a text message from the woman who she had spoken to, who hung up on her. And I hope you've seen the original episode where Laura shared a story. That woman sent her a text message, not even a letter on a formal letterhead from an attorney or from the school, just a text message, which I will ask Laura to read to you later, threatening her and accusing her of trying to steal money from them. I mean, guys, I think by now, if you've been watching me, you know that I'm like a ball of fire when I see injustice. I cannot help it. It's innate, and I'm intrinsically wired to dislike bullies. And this is what is happening to my friend. So, Laura, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Jenny, for having me back and for allowing me to give an update on this. Oh my goodness, it's just been a whirlwind of trying to see what works in our system, what doesn't work in our systems, and trying to at least keep people from going down this, path that I've been forcibly, put in. So to bring everybody
Before we ask you to continue, 1 second, just hold that. I just want to bring Eric on to say hello, but before I bring Eric on, I want to tell you guys that Laura is in Tuscany at the moment, and she was on the phone with us last night until 4 a.m. for her. This is how disturbing all of this is, because she got the threat, and I think she was a little bit scared, and I had to remind her of all the evidence that she has. And when you're holding evidence, threats should not work, because if it does, you are allowing the bullies to continue doing what they're doing. And so my hope for bringing this to you, because we don't even know who's involved in this and how dangerous it is, we are just trying to put the pieces together, is to protect anyone else getting offered jobs on LinkedIn through this institution. Eric, welcome back, our legal guru tonight. You were in a different hat.
Well, first, scammers are losers. And what we're going to do is bring in as many ICE agents as possible into New York City to get all the scammers.
I
That's
agree with you.
assuming that the scammers are foreigners, but it would seem so based on the people that Laura spoke to. So, Laura, why don't you
Mhm.
do it this way? We
Okay.
left off where you contacted certain peoples in the armed forces that you were waiting to hear back from. Why don't you start with how long it took for you to hear from someone and then tell everybody about the text message you received yesterday? In fact, please read it. Or why don't you start with that? Read the text message you received, and then you can tell them how long it took for someone to reach back out to you.
Well, to just get a timetable kind of going. So I left off, reported everything, right? So that would have been set us at around May 27th. Okay. So on May 27th is when I, started calling all the different agencies, New York Police Department, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, the New York Tax Controller's Office, Mark Levine's office, all of these different agencies that have to really are supposed to be taking care of us in the public, and nobody ever answers the phone. And if you leave a message, nobody ever calls you back. And pretty much I was told by an investigator, who kind of worked with me a little bit, told me that this was really what was going to happen once I contacted these agencies, and to not get discouraged. This is pretty much the modus operandi in our, enforcement agencies these days, and to just keep going, and something at some point will break. So, of course, I was a little scared yesterday because during the middle of my day, from a thread of text messages where I was speaking to the person, Carol Kai-Juang, who is listed as the payroll officer for Baruch College Campus High School, which is the name of the school through which this whole job employment scam was perpetrated. They're using that school. The people in there seem to be somehow involved because nobody will ever call you back. If somebody is innocent, they'll call you back and say, well, Miss Angino, we got your message. How can we help you? Nothing. I think people are spooked. And the message I got in the middle of my day, of course, we're talking 6 hours of change. New York is 6 hours behind me. Would have been morning, and they say, good morning, you are hereby being sued. This is on an SMS from this thread, from this Carol, payroll officer, after not speaking or having any contact with me since this whole thing kind of blew up, which would be like around May 16th, So, good morning. You are hereby being sued for filing a false report against our school after we denied you a position. I was never denied a position. I have the employment
Hold it
offer
up.
with the Baruch High School emblem at the top. Baruch High School, 55 East 25th Street, New York, New York, 10010. There are actually 7 pages to this offer, and then signed by Alicia Perez-Katz, who is the principal, and effective date would have been May 26th, and then countersigned by me actually on the 7th of May that I had accepted the offer. So, denied the position. I was never informed that I was denied the position. But then I'm being told here, we denied you the position, a denial that stemmed from your attempt to scam us out of $4,820, which is exactly the amount that we talked about, which they sent me checks to do mobile deposits on into my account to, at 2 different times. And both of them, they then charge them, reverse the deposits, because I guess I didn't act as instantaneously as they wanted, or they couldn't get from me what the monies or whatever they wanted. It proceeds to say, you will be served via mail in the coming days. When you appear in court with your lawyer, you must bring proof that we scammed you or else asked you to send your own funds, where we asked you to send your own funds as typical job scams do. If you cannot produce such evidence, be prepared to face legal consequences, including possible jail time for the following claims: 1, malicious prosecution; 2, defamation, libel, slander; 3, intentional infliction of emotional distress; 4, abuse of process. Let me know if you'd like a more formal or more aggressive version. Separate text comes right after that. See you in court soon, Ms. Laura. That was the message I got. At first, of course, when you get a message like that, you're going, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. They have, they know where I live. They have my home address, things like that. So things pop into my mind, if there's a money laundering thing going on, it's mafia or drug cartel. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I'm scared, So the first thing I do.
Can I interrupt you quickly?
Yes,
Because
go ahead.
anybody watching might have this question.
Yes.
Is that the same phone number that you were communicating with her on? With Miss
Correct.
Katz?
Yes, this is the
So
same.
this is not even a different phone number. So this is her.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
No, it's just a continuous from that time. So, and just to refresh the audience memory is that this is the lady that when I did call directly Baruch College Campus High School to the phone number that is on the internet and a Google search and where it's listed everywhere, I asked to speak Carol Kei-Juang. She didn't know it was me on the other line. She picks up the phone. Hello, this is Carol. And I said, hello, Carol, this is Laura. I don't understand. I've been sending you messages. Why haven't you responded? Blah, blah, blah. She has a super, super heavy accent. I want to say, South Asian, Chinese, whatever, but it's very difficult to understand her. And I reiterate things with her based on our communication. Her tone kind of changes, it switches up, and we don't have a position, and I said, I understand you're saying that we don't have, I'm the one that's filled the position. Your principal, your superior has hired me for that position. I'm a little confused. May I speak with her? She says, let me put you on hold or something. She puts me on hold, and then my phone disconnects immediately. It's like she hung up, but I'm not assuming that. I called exactly back within 30 seconds. All of a sudden, Carol is not longer there. She's out. You'd think that if the person isn't spooked, they would pick up, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Angie, we missed, I'm sorry, we got disconnected, or no. From that point on, no matter when I called, at any time that I called, I could not get her back on the phone. She was mysteriously gone.
And so since then, you never heard from her until yesterday when you received this text message. So if you're watching, all of what we shared earlier happened. Laura made several attempts to reach these people, several of them, over a period of time. No one ever responded. And my guess is, I'm going to interject intermittently just to throw a little sense in that people can understand what my version of what I think is happening. And I'm sure this is what a lot of people would think as well. My guess is, although they were not contacting Laura, they were hoping she would just shut up and go away, which is what I'm assuming others have done. Because in my gut, I know Laura is not the only victim here. And when Laura continued to reach out to every law enforcement personnel under the sun that she could get her hands on, somehow somebody got to them. And they decided, we are going to silence the stupid woman who we just used to launder approximately $9,000. Okay? This is what's happening in our country, right under our noses. So carry on, Laura, and then we'll ask Eric what he thinks. Go ahead, Laura. Finish
So
what you're
then,
sharing.
I went ahead and called, like I said, I've called the different agencies, state agencies that, one was the SCI, which is the Special Commissioner Investigation Unit, left a message for Lisa Reyes, never got a call back. I called the New York State Comptroller's office, Mark Levine's office, left a message, never got a call back. I got a different New York State Division Controller's office, and I did some investigator by the name of Patrick Lanza. He was the most helpful, and he was so, I think, flabbergasted by what was happening. He said, this is what's going to happen. You're going to contact all these agencies, the New York Police Department, the Comptroller's Office, and you're going to end up going down with no response. That just don't feel you're being dismissed, but that's really what's going to happen. I can't help you because the cases are given to me, and unless there is a direct crime against the state of New York, I can't do anything about it. And I said, well, it is a crime against the state of New York. This is a public school. It's not even a private school. So something's has to be given to them. I called the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, left a message, nothing. I called the Attorney General Office of New York, also left a message, nothing. I was told by the New York Police Department, which I did call, which is in the 24th precinct, and they said that since I didn't lose any of my money and only money was deposited and money muled, in a way, they just cleaned it out, this money, twice, no crime has really been committed. It's a little bit like a restraining order. Can't get a restraining order until you've been, physically
So they cut
abused.
your head off.
Yeah. So, can't do anything there. But I was told that feel free to contact the crime prevention officer via email and send him an email as to what has happened. Maybe he can help you there. However, when you go down, I'm not contacting anybody until I do my due diligence and find out who these people are, because it's already happened to me once. I'm not going to have it happen again. I look up, and David Friend, who is the crime prevention officer, has already, it states that he already has 2 complaints against him for money situations. So I don't think anything's going to happen there. So he's already he's still there, but there are these 2 complaints filed against him. So at the end, what I did do is I also called the private college. Baruch College Campus High School is a public school affiliated to a private CUNY, New York State University, private school called Baruch College. The reason that is there is that it allows for accreditation or passing of credits from a high school directly into a college. We do have those out in California as well. Cal State University Northridge has its, sister high school that's public, and then the university is California State University. Here, Baruch College is private. So it does happen, but one cannot do anything with the other, even though they seem to be carrying this brand name. But I called the Director of Public Safety for Baruch College because I found their information online, and it was Sabrina Pringle's number, which I mentioned in the previous session we had. And I left a message, and I did get a call back from Adam Rivera, who is listed as the lieutenant there, and he asked what had happened. He took down my information, the story, everything, took down notes, and he said, I'm gonna file a report on this, and then you will have the ability to get the FOIL report, Freedom of Information Law report, based on what I've filed, the following day, which would have been the 28th. However, he kind of ghosted me for a while too, because when I tried to reach him after I got this threatening text, I was reaching nobody, and I'd already sent him previous emails saying, Could you please let me know if you filed the report, confirm, because when I go online, I can't get it. And then when I do, I just get a standard answer saying, perhaps we will, when we locate the report, perhaps you will have access to it, but will not happen for 20 business days. So I wanted to reconfirm that with him, but he never bothered to call. So then I called everybody under the sun in that public safety department. And finally today, he called me back. He apologized. He was in training.
Hold it right there,
And
Laura. I'm going
yeah,
to bring Eric in now,
yes,
and then we'll
okay.
come back to you to say that. Eric,
Okay.
being someone who's been involved in law enforcement for most of your life, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, just by her, when Laura talks about how they told her that she had that they would need 20 business days to get her the FOIA. That's preposterous. That the federal law is 5 business days, and after 5 business days, if they still don't receive it, they have to give you a written notice stating why they're not going to give it to you, and then you go appeal it to the United States federal government. So that is a very well-known standard. They would know that since they deal with FOIA requests probably a lot. So to me, that's a spin move. That's them buying time, hoping you don't know any better about how a FOIA request works. I run into this all the time. Even at the state level, the states will not acknowledge the 5 business day standard unless you press them on it. They'll take their time. So they depend on your ignorance. So I would definitely press that information. Have you talked about this lieutenant yet? Well, yeah, you just found out today, so you haven't talked about the lieutenant yet. So I'm gonna say I got things I want to add to that.
So should Laura come back on and share the conversation with the lieutenant, and then you will come back? Okay, Laura, or what do you want, Eric? You want her to share first, or you want to tell us what you think first? I am trying to make this clear for people watching to see how corrupt the word that's coming to mind, we can't use it here, system is.
Well, let me just kind of guide Laura where I'm trying to go.
Okay.
So you did speak with the campus lieutenant, correct?
Correct. On the date of I spoke to him for the first time on May 27th.
And then is it the same individual that you talked to today?
Correct. Finally was able to get a hold of him.
And he advised you to do what?
This time he advised me to contact the New York School Education Department because they're as part of the New York Public Schools, and file what they call a fraud, waste, abuse reporting form that you file online. He asked me, have you filed your IC3, which is with the FBI internet complaint form? I filed that originally. Was one of the many reports I filed along with the Better Business Bureau and FTC report of fraud, and I did those at the onset when I was trying to handle my own things. And then his notations, let me review my notes. I told him about the latest message, the intimidation tactic, and he mentioned to me that this is par for the course. It's expected. What he felt that they were trying to do with that message was to then say, get you scared enough so that you're going to pay them to stop bothering you.
What? Okay. He's saying, how dumb are people if they're doing this?
Yeah, there's several different arms of scams like this. There's several different ways that they can go about doing it. My question is me, if I'm the victim, if I'm Laura and I'm the victim, the one thing that I want to do is I want to either debunk or corroborate whether or not the school is involved with it. I know that the lieutenant said that, this number came from wherever United States. However, I still want to know, am I still talking to Xi Jinping in the office, or does that person even exist? So
Well, my question to you, Eric, that I did ask him, I said, listen, I've gotten this message. This is the thread. It's the same thread that I was using the whole time I felt that I was employed. I was actually handed over to Carol from the principal, Ashley Perez-Katz, and I was welcome on board, blah, blah, blah. So denying the position, I don't know how that came to be. But anyway, and it was no communication on that thread since the 16th of May, and yesterday would have been the 10th, correct?
so
On
so 3 weeks.
Yeah, so when I spoke to Mr. Rivera, the lieutenant, I asked him, could you do a check on this number? So I gave him the number. He goes, yeah, I can do it for you right away. Let me see what I can find out. And I said, okay. So he told me it was a T-Mobile carrier, Oklahoma City, but there was no more other information. I do have two numbers. I was interviewed also by who is listed on the staff directory as one of the teachers. David, I gave him that number as well. It also came back T-Mobile carrier, Oklahoma City. That's why he was saying that when you contacted the New York Police Department and they told you that they could do nothing, that you should go to, and he gave me the name, the headquarters of the police department, which is One Police
One police
Plaza. And he gave me a phone number, and he said, when you speak to them, you're going to say that you spoke to the 24th precinct of the Manhattan Police Department, New York Police Department, and that you feel that it no longer is a state matter, it is a federal matter because it has crossed now 3 state lines. That would mean New York, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and then California, because that's where I'm from, and that's where the deposits went into my bank in California twice. So he goes, it's a federal because it's cross state lines.
Yeah.
The information was transactional. Potential organization is being fronted to commit the fraud, whatever is, so the school, a brand name school, is being used, and maybe he goes, there's involvement there, or they're just using it as a front. We don't know that, but if nobody investigates...
Can you hold that, Laura? Hold that thought right there. We talked about this last night, Eric, Laura, and I, and here is my take on it. And I am not the law, it's just my opinion, and I'm a very in my head kind of person, very intellectual, and I analyze a lot. My take is there is a scam out there associated with this school. And my gut feeling is they created this scam as a front so that when these things happen to a person, they can say, oh, that's a scam. It's on the internet. Everybody knows the school is being used in a scam. But guys, here is the difference. And here's where my little hat, where the dots have to connect and you have to make it make sense, comes in. Laura went to the school's website. All the people she has been communicating with are on the school's website with the same phone numbers. She actually deviated from the text messages, looked up the phone numbers for these people, and called them directly from the number on the website where everybody else calls them. So she actually spoke with those people. So it's not a scam with people impersonating the school and these people. These are the actual people working at the school. Okay, Laura, you can carry on. So anybody watching can be clear on what's happening here. Because a few people who watched the previous segment have told me there's a scam going on with that school. It's not the real school. So this is where I
So then
want
when
all of the viewers to be clear that it is not a scam. It is the school doing this. Okay, Laura, carry on.
So according to the U.S. Department of Education, Office of the Inspector General, which I'd also contacted, which is just an automated system, because of course we know that the U.S. Department of Education has been eroded as of, I think it was January, February. Our president did some cutbacks with the Department of Education. So it's just an automated number. You can just leave a message. That's what I did. But it does state on there's a fake job posting used by a school to launder money. It seems to be happening. It acts as a quote unquote money mule. That's what it's called, employment scam, which means the perpetrators are trying to use your bank account or identity to clean illicit funds. So what they do, you get this fake job posting. It's done by a brand name school, and there's for employment, and this is what they do. They clean the money through legitimate accounts, but they, use these fake job postings to lure in their victims in order to be able to to wash the money. And it's called money mule employment scams. So it's listed on the U.S. Department of Education. They must be aware of it, so I don't know. My point is that if they are aware of this, and I'm just one of the many to which this has happened, to whom this has happened, then what you would do is you would call back. If you're innocent, I mean, why would you want your name dragged in the mud? Or why would you want your school's name dragged in the muck? Alicia Perez-Katz, the principal, no matter how many times I left messages, just said, I didn't go into all detail. I just said, this is Laura and Gino. This is my number. Please call me back. Never got a call back. Carol Kai-Juang, same, dropped the call. Never could get her. Never get a call back. Never get a call back from any of the state-run agencies that are supposed to be policing, the state. Leave messages, nobody calls back. I'm at a total loss because I seem to feel that if you aren't involved, you're going to call somebody back and you're going to say, well, Miss Angino, we got your message. What happened? And I would say, well, I thought I was employed by your school. I got this job offer they would have explained, no, I'm sorry, this has happened to other people. We really apologize, but we really don't have anything, this was a fake job. I'm sorry. No, but they don't do that. And why don't they do that? Wouldn't you want to clear your name? Wouldn't you want to clear your name personally, as well as that of the school? Because it is being used. Only thing I can think of it is they're doing it. Everybody's getting a cut from it. And I'm ruffling some feathers by not letting it go, because most people will just move on because they need to find a job. I need to find a job as well, but when you know something is wrong, I'm old school. You try to do something about it, because the reason we are at this point and juncture in the world right now is that people are so inundated with so many problems that they don't even have the time nor the wherewithal or the bandwidth to pursue anything. You don't know how many people have told me, well, Laura, just drop it. We know these scams are going around. You have to try to at least do something about it. I don't know if nothing is going to come of it, but at least we're doing these posts. We never know where it's going to fall on deaf ears or something will happen of it.
100%, Laura. 100%. And I'm using my show to bring awareness. And to me, if 10 people see this and they can protect 10 people looking for jobs on LinkedIn, and let's get this straight. I'm not saying that every job that's being offered on LinkedIn is going to be like this. But if you've accepted a job and they, like the very beginning, they're trying to send you money, maybe you should be a little cautious. And like some people telling Laura to drop it, here's the part that everyone that is telling her this is overlooking. These people have put a wrench in her relationship with her bank
Yeah.
because it's clear that money passed through there to be laundered. So, what does this do to the relationship she has had with her bank forever? And we know that Laura is not the only one. So, Eric, Laura, think of your wrap up message. And I want Eric to come on now and speak to the viewers with his law enforcement hat on. Like,
I mean, I definitely.
what should a person in this situation do? What is the legal and what is BS and what is not?
I mean, out of all honesty, you could possibly potentially report this to the JD Vance's new fraud department. They seem to be pretty active about going after fraud. That might be your best bet now that I think about it. I always forget they have that. But as far as you're right, and the officer was right, or the lieutenant. This is a federal case, and the reason why he appointed it to one police plaza is to kind of fast track that to get a federal referral. Because a lot of people don't know this, like the FBI is not going to just invite themselves into a case. Generally, they need a referral or an invitation from a local jurisdiction to come assist in investigations. So that's why he's telling you to go to one police plaza, map it out like you did, that this has now crossed several state lines. This is could potentially be a multinational scam operation, because those keywords right there make it automatically a federal case, and he's actually trying to help you fast track this. Now, my question on this, when I sit here and I look at this, is and to kind of to back the both of you up on this, is the school did nothing. Absolutely, when you spoke directly to the school, they did absolutely nothing to clear themselves of this. They have completely were avoidant of the questions, refused to answer anything, refused to stick up for themselves. Generally, when that happens, that means, oh shoot, yeah, there's something there. I think. I think this school, this
Guilty as charged.
prestigious China virus school, is probably doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Eric, if
I would
it had
want to
happened
clear
to
my
you,
name if something was like that, you know. So I don't know. It's very strange.
Eric, if this had happened to you, how would you have handled it different from how Laura has handled it?
I mean, I'm very hyper aggressive, so I'm going to don't ever listen to anything that I say that I'm going to do.
I'm asking you.
It most likely will, and put you on some kind of list somewhere, or you probably will get arrested. But here's what I would do if it was me. I would go take all this information, all these screenshots and everything, the threats and all the job offer. I'm going to walk into that school and I'm going to slap it down on the desk and I'm going to say, hey, I need to talk to Miss Katz, Taylor Swift cat lover, and I need to talk to Xi Jinping. Get him out here right now, because I got to find out which one of y'all is threatening me with arrest and everything else. And then I need you to go get your Johnny Cochran's out here, and we're gonna hash this out right now. That's what I would do. And call their bluff.
It's clear that the letter came from the school, right? It's clear that that job offer was generated from the school.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, somebody either the school did it, or somebody went through a lot of trouble to dupe a lot of things. Which generally scammers don't put a lot of time into their scam.
That's what people are saying. This is over 2.5 month period. This is quite long.
Yeah, it's intricate. Generally scammers, they're quick hitters. They want to get their scam in, get out. Yeah. And this is, like you said, this has been going on for quite some time. I have a tough time believing that this is your general scam from India. This is something a little more complex and complicated than that, and I believe that there's probably a lot more money involved.
Correct. So it falls along that same pattern where it says that there's what they call the money mule employment scams. They're specifically used job postings through schools to clean money.
Yep.
So Laura, where is this whole situation at now? You spoke today to the who was a detective, whoever.
Lieutenant.
Yeah, lieutenant. And what now?
So first I have to finish filing the report on the New York State Education Department's called Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Reporting Form. So that at least gets into the right hands of the superintendent of these public schools so that they know that this school is either money laundering or people are doing it with fronting that school. I don't know, but I gotta have eyes on that school that are not within the school. Because if you think
Right.
about it, even the director of public safety is from the college that is somewhat affiliated with this school. He's super helpful, but at the same time, what I told him, I said, Mr. Rivera, you're just like a hop, skip, and jump away from that high school. Couldn't you just put yourself over there and figure out what's going on? No, 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 no. We can't do that. I'm in a different department. I don't handle that. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I would have been like, why did you call me? Let me talk to the right person. You're worthless to
Yeah, I
me.
mean,
That,
why is it that you just don't go there? Because they are
Yeah.
using your name. You
Yeah.
know that this is
Yeah.
happening. It has
There's a lot of
happened to
spin
you.
circles. Like they're spinning you around in circles in a lot of different directions. And I think it's just to wear you out to where eventually you'll just go, you know what? Screw it. I don't have time for all this.
so let
Correct.
me ask you a question, because by now, Laura, you should have a good gauge for if somebody's BSing you or not. Because, sorry guys, but me, this world that we're living in, I trust nothing anymore. Sometimes I barely trust. The only thing I trust is my intuition. And my intuition is telling me there's something really ugly going on behind the scene here. And it's like, and look, this is just a feeling, so don't come at me, but it's almost like, first of all, they weren't sure how to respond. And then because you never gave up and you kept calling this law enforcement, and then they regrouped and said, hey, this is how we're going to do this. You send her that text message. Let's see what she does. Let's see if she scares and backs off. And then if she doesn't, then let's regroup. Oh, let's get a detective to call her to try to pacify her. I mean, this is how Jennylyn would look at it because she doesn't trust anyone. And because
If I'm the school, the Carol lady is probably not even in my top 5 people that I would put into rank to send a message like that. She's not in
exactly.
there. The financial lady is not in the top 10
Yeah.
of people that would take care of that for me if I'm the school.
Yeah, and it's almost like they think we that lawyers are dumb, you know what? Because if you're going to send a person, and clearly, Laura, you're an educated woman, they have your resume, you going to send a text message that's not even on a decent letterhead? A text message.
Well, that is to
There is
follow.
something really fishy going on here. And the school is a part of it. And this is just allegedly based on how they're operating. And if you have a brain and you connect the dots, you will agree with me because she never got a formal explanation from anyone. They never said it's not us. It's a very complicated, very good scam where they're making it look like us. But then how could you use that argument? But she got their phone numbers off the internet, called, and spoke to most of them, including the principal. Make that make sense? And therein lies my frustration when it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You have to call it for what it is. And this is why I am not popular because I don't care what anyone thinks of me. God gave me a brain. And if things aren't making sense, I'm not going to accept them. So, Laura, we're almost out of time and we went over 30 minutes. And all of this gets me so fired up and so angry because so many innocent people are suffering. When they picked you, they picked the wrong person because I'm your friend. Eric's your friend. And we are smart people. So you can't push this crap down our throats and get us to swallow it. We would need gallons of water to get it down. And guess what? Even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see this is a scam that includes the school. Since we're almost out of time, Laura, what is it? Where do you go from here? And then we'll have Eric wrap up. Because I don't want to.
I'm gonna first try and get my full report and see what exactly was reported. So I'm waiting for that. A 20 business days thing, supposedly. But according to Eric, it should only be 5, but he told me 20. And the standardized receipt to that request, which I put in, says 20 business days. So I'm gonna wait it out. In the meantime, I'm gonna be hopefully talk to the superintendent of the New York State Public Schools. Somebody will call me back, hopefully based on the online reporting form for job. It must be happening quite a lot. It's just, I don't think with all the forms, people are gonna, they get tired, like Eric was saying, and just say, okay, hands off. I don't know. I don't think 150 miles per hour on the freeway. I just think on the next thing I need to do, because if I think 150 miles per hour on the freeway, what I need to do it just becomes overwhelming because there's a lot that you need to manage. Just going to take it one day at a time, and whatever doors need to be opened or scrutinized, information is power and knowledge is power. So whenever you embark on something, you learn along the way. So learning as a learning experience, as well as doing my duty, which most people should take seriously now. You have civic duties that if something is wrong, if you can say it's wrong, you should say it's wrong. And if you can do something about it, do something about it. And if you can't, because your hands are tied, at least you should think that it is wrong. But the fact that we end up doing nothing is in itself wrong. I just don't, I don't go by that. I'm pretty much a fighter in that regard, but can get me into trouble too. So I don't know. We'll see.
Eric?
Well, if we were doing things the Expendable Show way, we would go and we would
pretend you are.
And we would go and we will find out who the principal is having an affair with, and then we will make a video exposing it until they cooperate with what I want them to do. So, but that's me. That's me being mean.
No, seriously, Eric, I'm Laura. I am so happy that we are bringing awareness to this, because nobody else should have to go through this. And of course they will, because this sounds like it's been going on forever. And somehow it landed at your door, which brings it to my door and Eric's door. And whatever little bit of noise we're making with this, it seems to be working. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten the threatening text message promising you to go to jail if you don't pay 40, whatever they're asking you to pay. Like, really? Where are we? In the boondocks of Zimbabwe? We are in the United States of America. Really? Foreigners are coming in here and doing this to Americans, and it's okay? Because you said Mrs. Wang or whatever her name is could hardly speak English. And she gets to come and live here and bully you after she tried to wash money through you. Really, Americans? This is okay?
And she has a New York State Public Benefits Program salary job.
And here you are, a more qualified candidate getting scammed instead of getting a real authentic job offer.
Okay, yeah, I should teach her how to speak English before. She's in an English school. She should be able to speak English.
Well, if you're watching this show and you're an American, I'd love to know how you feel. People, don't just watch these segments, write to us. You can make comments in the bottom. Whatever your feelings are about this story, I am fired up about it. Because I've been producing television for going on 17 years. And one of the first segments I covered, and since then, there's a raw spot in me for bullies. A young girl who was being threatened at school tried to take her life, and she was not completely successful. She's now a paraplegic. Beautiful young girl. So I have a thing for bullies. And I think all of you should, because it's time we all come together to change the world so that we can all exist in it peacefully. And the bullies need to be disciplined. And so if you are a young person looking for a job and you're looking on LinkedIn, my gut feeling tells me Baruch College, high school, or whoever's doing this, it's not the only one. If someone is trying to send you money to buy equipment as soon as they've hired you before you even taught a class, please don't just do it. I'm not saying it's always going to be a scam, but I'm asking you please to check, because I wouldn't want this to happen to anyone else now that I know it is happening. Laura, I'll give you a wrap-up message, and then Eric, and then we'll be done.
Well, actually, I'm terrible at these wrap-up messages. Eric is much better at them. I'm pretty much, not wrapped up yet. So let Eric go ahead and take the lead on that.
Well, first we're gonna bring back the slogan "Be kind and rewind," and we're also any complaints you have for your public school system, please address them to the Randy Weingarten, and let her know how much you are displeased with your education systems.
And you said to write to JD Vance. You have any issues with being scammed? Write to JD Vance. Find out. I don't know how you write to him because I don't really follow.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is a way to do it. I just haven't inquired on it yet, so I will look into that.
We'll look into it the next time we come back to you with this story, because my gut feeling is that it's not over. We will bring you the update, and we will give that to you then. And Laura, is there anything you want to say?
No, I thank everybody for the support, for the views. The more the videos get out there, the less people get harmed or, from something like this. We're all vulnerable in this job market these days, young people, older people. So we really need to protect our democracy, our freedoms, our liberties, and not let all of these, fraudsters get away with just filling their pocketbooks and, everybody's getting wealthy on bad things.
Thank you for watching us. Guys, if you watch a segment, please share it. Like I always say, I don't care about fame, and I am not trying to make money. I don't need money. I want to protect my fellow American and humans in general from bullies. So please share this segment so people can be aware of what's going on out there. And we will be back soon with whatever updates we have for you on this matter, because I just know in my gut this is not it. And thank you for watching. Bye.